Good evening to all and welcome to the session. Before we go to 200 grammar rules, I would like to talk about important courses related to SSC that are coming up on Unacademy platform. At the outset, for SSC preparation, Unacademy platform is the number one or the best. You may ask why. You have access to 30 plus batches every week, 300 plus classes a day, 70 plus educators you get exposed to, 40,000 hours of recorded content, 20,000 practice questions, and trusted by 90% plus SSC aspirants. And these are the educators and these are the features. You can just have a look. And the new courses are coming up on 30th June. What are these courses? And these courses are being offered by the top educators, top batches, top educators. And these batches are SSC CGL 2020 exam, complete revision batch, crack SSC GD Constable 2020 exam, AIM batch for SSC, multitasking staff MTS exam 2020, Foundation Batch SSC CPO 2021 exam, Crack SSC Stenographer 2021 exam. And these are the subscription prices. You can pay monthly, then you can take for 2 years, 1 year, 6 months, all those options are there. And there's one scholarship test, try to take that and use my referral code. What is my referral code? Korlapati 4-5077. If you use my referral code, you get additional 10% discount, and there is one Unacademy Combat Scholarship Test. So many prizes. First prize Apple iPad, then Apple AirPod, second prize, third prize JBL speaker, and more. So that's all about again the subscription prices. All set? Then let's crack it. Now we'll go to 200 grammar rules, important grammar rules. Yesterday I taught you grammar rules related to adjectives. Adjectives and adverbs are describing words. I'm going to give more rules related to adjectives, but after completing adverbs, then I will present the rules related to degrees of comparison. There I'm going to give more rules. Today, whatever I'm going to teach, all the rules are related to adverbs. Now, at the outset, what is an adverb? In the word itself, you see the word verb. What does it mean? An adverb is a word that describes a verb, an adjective, or sometimes another adverb. Three things, not one. Usually, school level, they stop with a verb. What is an adverb? An adverb is a word that describes a verb that is not complete. An adverb is a word that describes a verb, an adjective, or another adverb. And in English, how do we form adverbs? Usually, I use the word usually. In English, usually, we form adverbs by adding ly to adjectives. We usually form adverbs by adding ly to adjectives. You all must be knowing that. Sudden, suddenly. Slow, slowly. Quick, quickly. Abrupt, abruptly. But English, we have rules, we have exceptions. However, some adverbs have the same form as adjectives. This is important, and this is the first rule for today. What is it? Some adverbs have the same form as adjectives. What are the examples here? The examples are fast, hard, loud. Loud could be loudly also, early. Now, exam point of view, these two are very important. It goes with the first one is very important. They have given in many exams. Now, a lot of students know. It goes with common errors. It is a fast train. Now, answer my question. In this example, what is the word fast? Which part of speech is it? Good evening, guys. Which part of speech is fast? Just answer the question. Is the video on? How come no response? Give me a second. It is on. Now, answer in this example, the very first example, fast train. Train is a noun. What is the word fast? Adjective. Look at the second example. The train went fast yesterday. How did the train go? Fast. Here it is an adverb. The same word can be an adjective, can be an adverb. And fast is an important one. So, can we do error questions without learning the rules with only logic and sense? Not all the time. Not all the time. Who is this? Mandal. You cannot do that all the time. You have to learn the rules, and you have to, some questions you can answer, not all the questions. It is a hard nut. What is the word nut? It is a noun. And what is the word hard in this example? It is an adjective. He works hard. How does he work? You ask the question, how does he work? He works hard. In the second example, it is an adverb. He works hard. That is, hard is an adverb. Now, I hope you got the rule. What is the rule here? We use sometimes, usually we form adverbs by adding ly to adjectives. But sometimes you do have certain words which have the same form, adverbs and adjectives, same form. What are the examples which are important from the exam point of view? Fast, hard, loud, early. Now let us go to the next rule for today, rule number two, or overall rule number 54. Adverbs related to position. Now, three rules 54, 55, 56, they go with adverbs position. When it comes to, and all the three rules go with adverbs of frequency. Tomorrow I'm going to teach rules related to position, other adverbs, but today you focus on adverbs of frequency. Three rules are there. All the three rules are very important from the exam point of view. Adverbs of frequency like always, often, regularly, repeatedly, usually come between the subject and the verb. So, what are the adverbs of frequency? Now, these adverbs of frequency they answer the question how often. If I say I meet them regularly, how often do I meet them regularly? She always comes in time. How often does she come? She always comes in time. So they answer the question how often. He always comes in time. Now, what is the subject here? He. And what is the verb? Comes. And where is the adverb of frequency? Always. It is between the subject and the verb. They often go there. Again, here, what is the subject? They. And what is the verb? Go. Often is an adverb of frequency. Where is it? Between the subject and the verb. He usually meets his friends in the evenings. What is the subject here? He meets verb. And what is the adverb of frequency? Usually. Where is it? Between the subject and the verb. Have you got this rule? What is the second rule for today? It goes with position of adverbs of frequency. All the three rules from now on, they deal with adverbs of frequency, their position. Based on the position, there are three rules. The first one, adverbs of frequency always come between the subject and the verb. These are the examples. 200 rules I'm going to teach. They are the most important rules. They cover 80%, should be good enough, and remaining 20% more rules. But first, from the selection point of view, usually I tell students 80% you are through, you will get selected. No one can master the entire subject, practically impossible. If you take any competitive exam, let us take civil services or SSC or banks, no one has 100% subject knowledge. That is practically impossible. Selection point of view, what is the reason? When it comes to a competitive exam, you should be better than others. You don't have to be the best. That means what? 100% a particular subject you don't have to learn. That is practically impossible. From the selection point of view, you should be in the range of 60% to 80%. Imagine the rules, 200 rules I'm going to teach. They cover 80%. Enough, more than enough. But there's a problem over here. These rules, as someone said, I'm teaching in isolation, but in a systematic way. Mind you guys, I started with parts of speech, nouns, pronouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs. This is a very systematic approach. Still, there's a problem. What is the problem? As Mandel said, if someone doesn't know the concepts, doesn't know the basics, can he or she learn these rules and remember? At the outset, the very first day I said, you should have the basics, basic knowledge. I'm sure you all have. What is the reason? School level, you must have learned parts of speech, 18 number, noun, pronoun, verb. Everyone knows. Based on that, you have to build up these rules. And enough, more than enough. Remaining 20%, they are like exceptions. If you are interested, you can. And you don't want to take any chances, learn the remaining 20% as well. I hope I have answered your question, Mandal. Now let us go to rule number 55, still with adverbs of frequency position. Sometimes what happens in a sentence, you have two verbs or three verbs. Then where to place adverbs of frequency? This rule deals with that. If there are two or three verbs in a sentence, adverbs of frequency come after the first verb. Where do they come? After the first verb. That is very important. Look at this example. She has always come in time. Now answer, what are the two verbs? No pain, no gain. That's right. There are two verbs in this example. What are the two verbs in this example? Has, helping verb, come, main verb. And what does the rule tell? If there are two verbs in a sentence or three verbs in a sentence, adverbs of frequency come after the first verb. Now, what is the first verb here? Has. After that, you should use adverb of frequency always. She has always come in time. Yes, you can. Will be very useful. I'm teaching in a system at combined you cannot have. You have to wait for 2.5 months. Every day, four rules in a systematic way. It takes about 2.5 months. You got to wait. You can't get at one place. After 2.5 months, you can get. He has often argued with his superior. Now, here, has argued. There are two verbs. Has argued. And where is the adverb of frequency? After the first verb, that is a helping verb. Now, in this sentence, sentence number three, answer my question, how many verbs are there? Just answer my question, how many verbs are there in sentence number three? They have always completed the work in time. Here also you have completed, only two, only two. Yes, that's right. Always have is the first one, completed the second one. You should use the adverb of frequency after the first verb. Now, this is an important one. I was talking about this one. He has often been questioned by them. Answer my question, how many verbs are here in sentence number four? Not the third one, sentence number four. He has often been questioned by them. It is not question number three. Question number four, how many verbs are there? There are three. What are those? Has, been, questioned. There are three helping verbs. It doesn't matter, two or three. We should always use the adverb of frequency after the first one. Of the three, what is the first one? Has. After this, we should use. Now, where is the word often, which is an adverb of frequency? After the first helping verb. I hope you got it. If there are two verbs or three verbs, we should use the adverb of frequency after the first one. Shall I go to the next rule, the last one? That is also very important. Adverbs of frequency come after the helping verbs. So far, we have seen main or action verbs. Now, this rule goes with adverbs of frequency come after the helping verbs. What are the helping verbs? Already have learned models to be, have, and do, and also models like can, could, will, would, all these. Here, they come after the helping verbs. What is the first example here? Is, she is. Is a helping verb, to be. She is always in time. They are usually late. He is often disturbed by them. After the helping verb, you should use the adverb of frequency. But there's an exception. The next rule is important. However, in many exams, they have given this one. However, the helping verbs have to and used to. Take adverbs of frequency before them, not after them. Before them. Look at these. They always have to go to office on foot. Have to is a helping verb. Where is the adverb of frequency? Before. These two are exceptions. We always used to swim on Sundays. What is the helping verb here? Used to. And where is the adverb of frequency? Before it. He always have to be there before noon. Again, have to. He always have to be there. But here, not have to, has to be. He always has to be there before noon. Huh. Have you got it? He always has to be there before noon. If you ask me, sir, what is the difference between have to, has to? Third person singular, we use has to. Other pronouns, we use have to. So this is all about the four rules. I will repeat. What is the first rule you have learned today? It goes with forms, adverb forms. Usually in English, we change adjectives to adverbs by adding ly. But in English, we have certain adverbs. They have the same form as adjectives. And two examples are very important. You can't afford to forget. What is the first one? It is fast. The other one. These two they have given in many exams. Fast, hard. First rule, same form, adjectives, adverbs. And rule number two, three, four, based on adverbs of frequency, position. What is the first one? An adverb of frequency comes between the subject and the verb. He always comes in time. Next rule, if there are two or three verbs, adverbs of frequency come after the first verb. He has always come in time. And what is the last one? Adverbs of frequency come after the helping verbs. He is always late. But there is an exception. Two helping verbs, have to or has to and used to. They take adverbs of frequency before them, not after them, before them. And these are important from the exam point of view. I hope the rules are clear. Shall we go to practice questions? All of you remember, see, these 200 grammar rules. When I say 200 grammar rules in a systematic way, it is with the assumption that those who are going to come here, they have the basic concepts. And I'm sure many of you know the basics already. All are graduates, school level people learn grammar. So everyone knows what a noun is, what a verb is. We don't have to worry about that. I please have a look at practice questions. I got 163, 200 in 2018 in tier 2 without learning rules. What should I do to improve beside learning rules wherever I give marks my random? Better you learn the rules, Mandal. At the outset, I appreciate you got 163. That's pretty good. But today we have students who get, you'll be surprised and shocked to know, in tier 2, not tier, it is tier 1, tier 2. 190 out of 200, tier 2. I know they got 190 out of 200. Now what happens if you want your journey to go from 163 to 190 or that range? Obviously, as such you're good. Getting 163 means you're good. But learn the 200 rules. Definitely you can get 180 plus, absolutely no problem. Now, my friend used to always help me when I was there. Is this right or wrong? First, you answer. Is it right or wrong? Go to the playlist, Unacademy. Go to the playlist, you get all the rules. Playlist. Go to the channel playlist, you get. Here, used to is a helping verb. Then you cannot use adverb of frequency after. It should be before. So, what is the correct sentence? My friend always used to help me when I was there. I hope you got it. Now, he goes to that park often. This is also wrong. Say right or wrong. This is wrong. This is also wrong. What is the reason? Here, he is a subject, goes verb. The rule tells adverbs of frequency come between the subject and the verb. So often here is not correct. It should be he often goes there between the subject and the verb. Now let us go to question number 3. They usually pray before going out. Is the sentence right or wrong? They usually pray before going out. Rajshekar says, question number three, I appreciate. Always mention the question number, otherwise the master gets confused. That should not happen. They usually, their subject, pray God, and usually. Nothing wrong. The sentence is absolutely right. He is always particular about timings. He is always particular about timings. Is this right or wrong? I appreciate all the students have mentioned the question number. That's pretty good. Keep it up. Mention the question number and the response. He is always, what is he is the helping verb to be. The rule tells we should use adverbs of frequency after the helping verbs, except have to and used to. So he is always particular about timings. Absolutely right. No problem. They have to always do the work in the morning. Is this right or wrong? Question number five. This is not correct. Why is it wrong? We have a helping verb, have to. The rule tells have to, used to. These two helping verbs, they take adverbs of frequency before them. Based on that, always here it is not correct. It should be before have to. They always have to do the work in the morning. Then it is correct. I hope you got it. Yes or no? Now let us go to some more examples are there. The train went fastly yesterday. This is a common error, but now a lot of almost everyone knows it is not correct. So what is the answer for question number or sentence number six? Many students know this. There is no word like fastly. That is not correct. The train went fast yesterday. How did the train go yesterday? It went fast. So fast here it is an adverb. What is it? Adverb. And which type of adverb is it? How? If it answers the question how, it is adverb of manner. Adverb of manner. How did the train go? Fast. He heard a loud noise last night. He heard what? Noise. What sort of noise? Loud noise. Here, loud, describing a noun, it is an adjective. Absolutely no problem. The sentence is correct. He is a hardly worker. This is an important word. Hardly is not correct. What is it? Hard worker. Now, answer my question. A lot of students get confused between hardly and hard. What is the difference? Hard and hardly. These two, what is the difference? Hard worker, this is positive. Hardly works means he doesn't work at all. Hardly negative. It has a negative connotation, negative sense. That's right, Prithvi Raja. He hardly works. What does it mean? He doesn't work in the real sense. And he's a hard worker. Hard worker, adjective. He works hard, adverb. And many exams have given questions based on hard and hardly. They are early birds. Yes, Ishwar, nothing. They are in one playlist. Go to the playlist, Murthy's. You see my name. You have all my videos, one playlist. Now, question number nine is correct, but to answer my question, birds, which part of speech is it? Noun. And early. Early can be an adjective, it can be an adverb. He always comes early. In that example, what is the word early? Adverb. He always comes early. But here they are early birds. Here it is an adjective. Hardly, scarcely, barely, rarely, negative verbs. That's right. Who is this? Viranna. He always comes early. He always comes early. Right or wrong? But sentence number 10, early, sentence number 9, it's an adjective. Sentence number 10, early, adverb. He comes early. Here it is an adverb. They have decided to work hardly. That doesn't make any sense. So what is question number 11 or sentence number 11? They have decided to work. Is it right or wrong? 11, not 11, 11. This is right. Question number 10 is right. 9 is right. 11, they have decided to work hardly. Not correct. They have decided to work hard. Then it is correct. It makes sense. Please speak loud. Is this right or wrong? Please speak loud. There is a time lag, 20 seconds, I suppose. Huh. No, it is correct. But usually we say, please speak loudly. What is a, please listen very carefully. This is correct. This is also correct. Loud usually we use as an adjective, loudly as an adverb. But loud can be, that's what I said. It can be an adjective, usually. It can be an adverb. Nothing wrong with that. Please listen very carefully. Loud can be an adjective, it can be an adverb. But generally in our country, we use loud as an adjective, loudly as an adverb. I hope it's clear. Please say yes or no. Yes, loud. People say loudly, hard, loud, fast. But usage point of view, loudly, people say loud. Please speak loud. Loud is the right word. That's why I gave at the outset. There are some adverbs, they have the same form as adjectives. What are the examples I give? Fast, hard, loud, and early. Four examples are very important from the exam point of view. And that's very good. Now let us go to error location. The tree is losing its leaves. Is this right or wrong? Sentence number one, error location. The tree is losing its leaves. Hmm. Now, what is the answer? Third option, its leaves. What is wrong with the third option? Veera says no error, and Mandal also says no error. Ishwar says no error. There is no error whatsoever. No error. What is the reason? A very short sentence. Whenever you want to choose, please listen very carefully. Whenever you want to choose the last option, what is the last option? No error. You got to think twice and you have to analyze the sentence subject, verb, object. What is the subject here? The tree. Now, the tree, there's nothing wrong. He is losing. Which tense is this? Present continuous. And what is the verb here? Lose. Lose is a verb, and loose, that is an adjective. Opposite of tight. Lose, losing. Nothing wrong. Present continuous. The tree subject, nothing wrong. Its leaves. Actually, they may give a sentence like it's with apostrophe, then it is not correct. Already you have learned the rule. Possessive pronouns never take an apostrophe. I repeat, possessive pronouns never take an apostrophe. Here, tree, we use its, and the possessive pronoun, no apostrophe, it is correct. Obviously, it's leaves. Maybe the season is autumn. Autumn season, the trees lose their leaves. M, N is silent. This is British English, autumn. N is silent. American English, they don't use the word autumn, they use the word fall. Lose, lost, lost. Lose, lost, lost as a verb. And this is an adjective, opposite of tight. So, what is the answer? The very first question looks very simple, but you got to be careful. Now, let us go to error location, question number two. Tight opposite loose. Yes, Uday Kumar. Tight opposite loose. Both are adjectives. Tight t-shirt, loose t-shirt. They decided to consult a marriage guidance counselor. These are all actual questions from SSC. No error. Let others also respond. I appreciate if you mention the question number. Kumar has mentioned the question number as well as the option. Then I don't get confused. Ultimately, master should not get confused. One more student says 2 4. Manmeet Singh says the third option. Mandal says third option. No, not correct. No one has got it. Who is this? Ishwar has got it right. Here, there is no time. When there is no time phrase, an action goes into the past, we should use present perfect tense. Here, they decided it is in past, not correct. It should be in present perfect. Based on that, they have decided to consult a marriage guidance counselor. First, I got a doubt. Marriage counselor, usually we say. So I thought the error could be here. Marriage guidance counselor. There's nothing wrong with this. I cross checked. Marriage guidance counselor. A perfect expression, nothing wrong. Where is the error? Here it talks about a past action. Now, let me tell you something interesting and important. In English, to express a past action, then it should go into past. I'm going to talk about that. Please listen very carefully. In English, to express a past action, we have a choice. We can use either past tense or present perfect. Then comes a question where to use past tense, where to use present perfect. So, what is the choice you have in English to express a past action? One, you can use past tense. Second, you can use present perfect tense. Obviously, you should get the doubt. So, if that is the case, where to use past tense, where to use present perfect? Any past action, time is important. Time is important. Use past tense. Any past action, time is not important. Action is important. Use present perfect. Imagine yesterday, then the sentence is right. They decided to consult a marriage guidance counselor yesterday. Correct. But no time, past action. We should use present perfect tense. This has been given many a time in competitive exams. And also a common error. See, I have already told you guys one of the differences, I don't say that is the difference, one of the differences between those who are good at English and those who are not good at English. Those who are good at English, they use present perfect quite often in conversational English and written English. And those who are not good at English, they use past tense quite often. Then you may ask, sir, why should we use present perfect in conversational English or written English quite often? The reason being, in conversation, quite often we ask questions where time is not important, action is important. Then we should use present perfect. For example, did you see the manager? Not correct. Have you seen the manager? Did you complete the work? Not correct. Have you completed the work? Did you see that movie? Not correct. Have you seen that movie? See how the conversation goes. Both are good at English. First question, have you seen that movie? Here, action is important, not the time, present perfect. Yes, I have seen that movie. Answer also in present perfect. Now I want to know the time. I will switch over to past tense. When did you see that movie? I saw yesterday. First two sentences in present perfect, the last two in past. So this is the correct order. And many teachers also say, did you do the homework? That is not correct. Have you done your homework? And you should not say, did you have your breakfast? Not correct. Have you had your breakfast? And conversational English, we say, we use a short form. Had your breakfast? Had your lunch? But what is a complete sentence? Have you had your lunch? So this is very important from competitive exams point of view, and also conversational English. I have had your something. Have you had your dinner? Yes. Have you had your dinner? Perfect sentence. And in exams, they give a typical common error where people use present perfect tense plus time in past. This combination is absolutely wrong. This is wrong. A lot of people tend to say, I have seen the manager yesterday. Is it right or wrong? They have given in many exams. No, where is this stylus? Hmm. I have seen the manager yesterday. Answer my question. Is this right or wrong? I've seen the manager yesterday. Right or wrong? It is wrong. It's a common error. They have given in so many exams. What is wrong with this? You cannot use present perfect with past time. Now you may ask, sir, in the exam, same question divided into parts. Now listen very carefully. I have seen the manager yesterday. Now tell me, where is the error? Where is the error? I have divided the sentence. This is something very important you guys have to know. No, no, you have same sentence in the exam divided into four parts. One, two, three, four, and no error, fifth part. Now, where is the error? Please answer my question. Never touch the time. Never ever touch the time. Based on the time, you should decide whether the sentence is right or wrong. So there's nothing wrong with the word yesterday. There is an error in the second part. Have seen is not correct. It should be I saw the manager yesterday. This is how you have to spot the error. Otherwise, what happens? You think, no, you cannot use have been. No, no, that is not correct. Have been is not correct. Have been goes into passive voice, not correct. That's it about this question. Useful information I have given. Let us go to the next one. What is the next one? My friend said me that he was unable to come. I saw the manager yesterday. That is right. Please go to question number 3. My friend said me that he was unable to come. Where is the error? Usually, this also people say, which is not correct. My friends, my friend said or told. If you say here said me, that is not grammatically correct. It should be my friends told me. My friends told me that he was unable to come, and also said to me also. I was about to write that one, Ravi Teja. My friend said to me. This is right. My friend or friends, that doesn't matter. My friends told me, that is right. Told me. My friend said to me. This is also right. Both are correct. But you cannot say said me. That is not the right combination. Answer, there is an error in the first part. Now let us go to, don't look at this. Look at the question. Don't look at the text over there. Just look at the question. Try to spot the error. Told to me is not correct. That is grammatically not correct. Told to me, common error. Told me is correct. Told to me is not correct. No, no, Mandal. My friends told me that he was unable to come. They are talking about someone. Imagine they are talking about a particular person. Then friends can tell there's nothing wrong with this sentence. This is a sentence from the actual exam. There is nothing wrong with this sentence. My friends told me, not one person, many friends told me that he was unable to come. There's nothing wrong with that sentence. This sentence is grammatically correct. That is what you have said is not correct. My friend told me is correct. My friends told me. Both are correct. Absolutely no problem. That is a question from the actual previous year's papers. They will not make a mistake like that. She has married a young, tall Australian accountant. Please don't use V1, V2, V3. When I started the grammar rules, I told students this is not the correct approach. You have to talk in terms of basic form or infinitive, present form, past participle, present participle. This is not the right approach. As long as I teach, I tell my students this is not the correct approach. If you attend my grammar classes, then you understand why it is not the correct approach. Absolutely wrong. To clear your doubt, any verb has five forms. How many forms? Five forms, like your five fingers. But if you take this approach, how many forms are you talking about? Three forms. That means two forms you're not touching. That itself tells or shows the approach is wrong. Fine. She has married a young tall or a tall young Australian. There's an error. It should be first tall, then young. Now, this information, have a look. Generally, the adjective order in English is quantity or number, quality or opinion, tall, quality, then size. Here we don't talk about size, age, young, old. So it should be tall, young. That is the correct order. Shape, no, we don't see any adjective. Color, we don't see. And proper adjective means what? Nationality. Australian accountant. So tall, young Australian accountant. That is the correct order. Now, five questions based on sentence improvement. Question number one. Read the sentence, try to spot the error. I am neither a poet nor philosopher. Yes, that's correct. Ishwar says one, third option. First one to respond, I suppose. Very good. Let others also respond. 1, 3. Many students have got it right. I am neither a poet nor a philosopher. We have to use the indefinite article a. It is like correlatives or neither nor. Neither nor. This is very important. What is the reason? If I say he knows neither English nor Hindi, is the sentence right or wrong? He knows neither Hindi nor English, then he's in trouble. That's a different thing. He knows neither English nor Hindi. Is that right or wrong? It is correct, but a little confusing. He knows, it sounds positive. He knows neither English nor Hindi. But what is the meaning of the sentence? He doesn't know Hindi, he doesn't know English. Looks positive, but the meaning is negative. So answer is the third option. Very good. Almost all the students have got it right. Now answer third option, not the fourth option. I'm neither a poet nor a philosopher. Sentence number two, or question number two, sentence improvement. You have played instead of worked. Is this right or wrong? You have played instead of, that's right. Meaning is negative but sounds positive. He knows. Actually, he doesn't know. You have played instead of worked. Instead of worked is not grammatically correct. You have to use a noun form of the verb. So here you have played instead of having worked. Again, not correct. Being worked, not correct. It should be instead of working. Instead of working, you have played. You can change the position, but you cannot use worked. It should be working. Instead of working, you have played, or you have played instead of working. Answer is the first part. Question number three, sentence improvement. He evaded to pay income tax. Gerund, that's right. We use a verb in the ing form as a noun. We call it gerund. The noun form of a verb. What is the answer for question number three? He evaded. Third question, first part is not correct. I'm sorry to say. It is third option. He evaded what? To pay is not corrected. First you subject he, evaded verb. Then you ask the question, he evaded what? Paying income tax. Here paying is a noun form of the verb. He evaded paying income tax. Answer is the third option. Many students have got it right. Evade means what? To avoid, to escape. Now, don't sit in the grass, it is wet. Here it is not the possessive form, it is a short form of it is. It is. Possessive pronouns never take an apostrophe. There is no exception whatsoever. Don't sit in the grass. Is that right or wrong? It is not in the grass, it should be on the grass. Don't sit on the grass, it is wet. It is short form, it's wet. And what is the difference between beside and besides? Please tell me what is the difference between beside and besides. There's one option here, beside. What is the difference between beside and besides? Have you heard what is said? Beside means next to. Besides means what? In addition to. Next to, in addition to. I teach English besides French. Only an example. Means what? In addition to English, I teach French. He is beside her. He is next to her. Now let us go to question number 5, sentence improvement, the last question. Next to or by. The actor is out of jail and not exactly a free man since he will be under house arrest for an additional 90 days. All these questions are based on contextual awareness. You can answer, not that difficult. The actor is out of jail and not exactly a free man since he will be under house arrest for an additional 90 days. Here you cannot use the conjunction and because it talks about a contrast. Out of jail, that means he should be a free bird, but it says not a free man. It is a contrast. We need a contrasting word. So, what is a contrasting word? We don't use though. Though also talks about contrast, but the right word based on the context answer is but not exactly a free man. Answer is the second option. Out of jail, but not exactly a free man. Fillers. Now, what is the answer? The deceased, this is an important word. I think we have got recently. Deceased, DISCASE, related to health issues. But deceased means what? Recently died, dead person, dead person. Now, where is the error? Or what is the answer? Right word. The deceased left for him two children, young children. I don't think so. Died, yes, that's right. Recently died. With is also not correct. With him two young children. No, no. Answer Jayasuriya has got it right. Only one student and also Madhav has got it right. Here it should be behind. The deceased left behind him two young children. Behind him. What is the correct preposition? Behind. Left behind him two young children. Answer is the fourth option. Other options don't make any sense over there. Lokesh was busy when we to see him. Yes, Ravi Teja, behind is the answer. Please go to question number 2, fillers. Lokesh was busy when we to see him. Lokesh was busy, past context. Then you cannot use the verb in the present, cannot use in the past participle, again cannot use in the present. It should be in the past. Lokesh was busy when we went to see him. Past context, verb should be in the past form. An easy one, not that difficult. Let us go to the date of the function not been decided yet. This is an important question. The date of the function not been decided yet. Many students, almost all students have got it right. Here, what is the subject? The date of the function, that is a phrase, don't consider. And the word yet, it goes with present perfect tense. That means subject is third person singular, then you cannot say have, and was, you should use present perfect. You cannot use any of these. So what is the answer? The date has not been decided yet. The date of the function hasn't been decided yet. The word yet should be at the end of the sentence, and the sentence is in present perfect tense. This is an important one. If you get it right, you should be happy. This goes with a particular topic. If you get this right, you should be happy. Not an easy one. Question number 4, not an easy one. Yet talks about so far. From the past to the present. That's right. Who is that? Private working aspirant. Yes, very good. Now, what is the answer? Question number 4. Ramana has got it right. Very good. I appreciate. Here it is not in the dozen, at the dozen, for the dozen, by the dozen. We have to, that's a standard phrase. And actually, as I said, it goes with articles. Articles, there's one rule. When it comes to measures, we should use a definite article, the. A standard phrase, lemons are sold by the dozen. Generally, in regular classes, I give the example, eggs are sold by the dozen. This is my example in regular classes. Eggs are sold by the dozen. There is a standard phrase, by the something. Milk is sold by the liter. So remember, standard phrases, not easy. Let us go to the last question. We still have 7 minutes. India was a prosperous country. The reign of King Ashoka. A reign means what? Rule. Question number 5. What is the correct word? An easy one, not that difficult. Sell it or sell by. Are sold, that's a standard phrase. Don't focus on the verb. Eggs are sold by the dozen. It's a standard phrase. In passive voice, we sell eggs. What is the sentence in active voice? We sell eggs by the dozen. But we don't use active voice over here, we use passive voice. Eggs are sold by the dozen. That is in passive voice. Active voice, sell. We sell eggs by the dozen. That is actual sentence. What is the answer? Fourth option. India was a prosperous country during the reign of King Ashoka. Answer is Yes, many students have got it right. The last five questions deal with reported speech or narration or indirect speech. I have brought for the first time. See if you can manage, because when it comes to SSC Tier 2, at least 50 questions are based on two topics: active voice, passive voice, direct speech, indirect speech. 50 questions. So you should be good at these two topics: active voice and passive voice, direct speech and indirect speech, narration. Prabhu said that he was not going to college. When it comes to speech, first you should read the sentence, ask yourself which tense is it in. First, you have to focus on the reporting verb. What is the reporting verb here said? It is in past tense. It is in past. If the reporting verb is in past, the tenses change to a corresponding past. Here, he was not going. That is past continuous. Actual statement, it should be in present continuous. Present continuous changes to past continuous, corresponding past tense. Based on that, Prabhu said, comma, inverted commas, he was not going, not correct. Present continuous, you cannot use future, you cannot use past perfect. What is the answer? Prabhu said, I'm not going to college. Here said reporting verb is in past. Then what is the rule? It's a statement. When it comes to statements, if the reporting verb is in past, the tenses change to a corresponding past tense. How do they change? Present continuous changes to past continuous. Based on that, Prabhu said that he was not going to college. Prabhu said, I am not going to college. Answer is the second option. Question number two. They said that they played cricket. This is an important one. What is the answer? Question number two. They said that they played cricket. First, you have to focus on the reporting verb when it comes to speech. Very important. What is the reporting verb here? They said that they played cricket. Here, present changes to past. They said you cannot use they plays. It is not at all correct grammatically. Plays goes with third person singular. They are playing. You cannot use present continuous. They have been playing. You cannot use present perfect continuous. So we play cricket. They said, comma, inverted commas, so we play cricket. Present tense changes to past. They said that they played cricket. But that is a bit confusing. Here I cannot explain because here only rules I can talk about and questions from previous year's papers. He asked me what I was doing. This is an important one. Questions in reported speech, very difficult to handle. You got to be alert and you got to read the sentence very carefully. Previous question. We changes to they. Yes, that is correct. They said we play cricket. They said that they played cricket. We changes to they. Nothing wrong with that. He asked me what I was doing. The moment you see the word asked, you should think of questions in direct and indirect. Said changes to asked. I was doing. This is past continuous. Then the question must have been in present continuous. Present continuous changes to past continuous. He said to me. He said or he said to me. Either way, no problem. What are you doing? Present continuous. What you are doing? Grammatically not correct. What I am doing? No. What were you? You cannot use past continuous. So what is the answer? He said to me, or he said, what are you doing? He asked me. Now listen very carefully. Answer is the first option, but there's a common error. A lot of people say, he asked me, what was I doing? What was I doing is not correct. He asked me what I was doing. When you change a question from direct to indirect, the tense changes one thing and Interrogative changes to affirmative. You cannot say, was I doing? That is interrogative. I was doing, affirmative. This part is very important. You got to remember. That goes with common errors. Question number 4. One more, then I can wind up the session. Anand said that he would be waiting for me. Again, reporting verb in the past, said that he would be waiting for me. Pronouns, you have to use your common sense. So, what is the answer? Anand said, I will be waiting for you. I will wait, you cannot use because here it is in ing form. I should be waiting. Will or shall, we change, we use only would. Should is not correct. Here it should be will or shall. I'm waiting for you. No, present continuous, then we should use past continuous. So what is the answer? Anand said, I will be waiting for you. Anand said that he would be waiting for me. This is answer is the first option. No, not the second option, first option. He said, I will be waiting for you changes to he said that he would be waiting for me. That's why I said pronounce common sense. You got to listen very carefully. Suresh said to me, I have been dancing for 2 hours. I have been dancing for 2 hours. Here again, the reporting verb is in the past, said to me. I have been dancing. This is present perfect continuous. If the reporting verb is in past, present perfect continuous changes to past perfect continuous. Based on that, this is not correct. This is not correct. This is not correct. You have only one option in past perfect continuous. So what is the answer? Suresh told me that he had been dancing for 2 hours. That is the answer. I don't know how many of you know I started last week foundation course on English grammar, the basics, morning 9:30 to 11:30, 2 hours every day. And my referral code, Korlapadi 4-5077. If you use a referral code, it is you're going to get 10% discount. Then 12 noon to 1, I conduct free classes on an academy platform, and the topic vocabulary, idioms, one word substitutes, synonyms, antonyms, all these from previous year's papers. Again, use my referral code. That's all for today. Thank you very much for being with me till 8:30. My pleasure. Good night. I will see you tomorrow. Thank you very much.